Back in 1995, the original Doom was ported to the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. At this time, the Super Nintendo was at the very end of its life cycle. Its successor was only a year away. The wildly popular Doom had already been ported with varying degrees of success to a few much more powerful systems. No one would have ever thought that there was any way for the Super Nintendo to run Doom. But Sculptured Software did exactly that. It ran at a lower frame rate than the original, of course, and the resolution was dropped significantly, but it was still Doom. Today, while it may not be the best way to play Doom, it still stands as an exemplary display of programming prowess and ingenuity. Fast forward 22 years and here we are in 2017. Doom on PC, PS4, and Xbox One once again stands as a technical powerhouse, and once again, someone is crazy enough to try and get it running on a Nintendo. The frame rate and resolution have been lowered, just like last time, but when it comes right down to it, it is Doom. Oh yeah, and that Nintendo I'm talking about is also a handheld. As I'm sure plenty of Nintendo fans never played Doom when it released on other platforms last year, it's worth taking a moment and starting with the basics. Doom sees you take control of the nameless Doom Marine. You awaken in a science facility on the planet Mars. As is bound to happen when you leave a bunch of scientists alone on Mars, they open a gateway to hell itself, and demons invade the facility. Luckily, you're quite good at punching, shooting, and otherwise dismembering a variety of hellspawn. Life just has a way of working out. Doom takes great pride in throwing out much of the modern first-person shooter formula. This fresh take on the genre can be boiled down to the concept of aggression. Games like Call of Duty or Halo encourage the player to take cover when injured. After a set time, the player's health or shields will start to recover. This encourages the player to be cautious and to attack only from an advantageous position. Doom, on the other hand, does not automatically replenish the player's health. Health is gained primarily by killing enemies, with extra health dealt out for over-the-top glory kills achieved by killing an enemy with a melee attack while they're in a stunned state. Doom demands that you dive headfirst into conflict. Of course, this offers a fun change of pace to the game, but also serves to forcefully align the player's playstyle with the hero. You're a guy who wakes up on Mars and with no obvious catalyst starts ripping and tearing through demons. Aggression is obviously the right playstyle. Story is stripped down to bare necessities. In this way, among others, Doom often feels like a commentary on modern story-driven titles like Uncharted or BioShock, in that it prioritizes fun gameplay above everything else. As a result, it is a very satisfying game, especially to pick up in handheld format for short bursts. I have loved playing for 20 minutes during a break at work. There is something reassuring about knowing that my coveted break from work will be filled with actual gameplay and not just cutscenes. However, for those who do need deeper lore to fully enjoy a game world, a plethora of background information and logs can be uncovered through exploration of Doom's huge levels. Lore isn't the only thing to be found in those lost corridors either, as plenty of upgrade points for both your weapons and character are dotted across the landscapes. Even were you to set out with the intention of avoiding these detours, levels will rarely provide you with a straight shot to the goal. The environments are huge and largely open. Much like the original Doom, progression is built on completing multifaceted objectives across the map. You'll have to find keys, activate and/or destroy various machines, and quell the influx of demons in order to clear your path to the next level. In this way, Doom stays very fresh throughout the campaign, as each mission seems to add some new activity. The multiplayer mode is of course a major component of Doom's release on Switch. Doom represents the first traditional online first-person shooter on the platform, and I could see it garnering a fairly large community for that reason. All your favorite team and free-for-all game modes are present and accounted for. While the servers were understandably lacking in players during the review period, I was able to play plenty of practice games against bots. The Switch version features all of the DLC content from last year's versions, resulting in a huge amount of online content. So long as the servers hold up after the game's release, I have no doubt Doom's online mode will be reasonably popular among Switch players. Of course, if problems do crop up post-launch, I'll return and update this portion of the review. On the technical side, Doom offers a fascinating look at the Switch's inherent dichotomy of docked versus handheld gaming. As I played, I found my brain constantly flipping points of view. When I played on the TV, I would occasionally notice something that had been downgraded from the PS4 version I had enjoyed last year. Inversely, when I played handheld, I felt as if I was playing the most impressive version of Doom in existence. Thus, the oddity of the Switch. It is both an underpowered home console and an overpowered handheld. That being said, the average of these two is a generally solid version of Doom. As in its prior release, Doom is a beautiful game. There were plenty of moments when editing comparison videos that I lost track of which footage was from the Switch version and which was from the PS4. On inspection, of course, there are differences, but as you quickly tear through demons, you'll have a hard time telling that the door on the other side of the room is sporting a lower resolution texture than the other versions. As one would expect, a few performance issues did crop up during demanding moments. In docked mode, it seemed that framerate drops were more common than in handheld mode. Resolution, on the other hand, seemed much better when docked. It appears to me that the handheld version aggressively adapts its resolution during stressful moments to keep the framerate up. The docked version seems to stick much closer to what I believe is 1280 by 720 resolution, but as a result can take real hits to the framerate during intense combat. It should be stated that at no point did I feel like these issues prevented me from enjoying the game. I found 30 frames per second to be perfectly adequate, and when I did encounter framerate drops, they were usually quickly resolved. I did also encounter a glitch at 2 points during the game in which audio would become very quiet. I was only able to correct this issue by dying or manually reloading the last checkpoint. This doesn't strike me as a limitation of the platform, however, so I would assume it'll be patched soon. The teams at id Software and Panic Button deserve immense praise and recognition for what would have seemed an impossible port. Doom was already a fantastic game when it released last year, but being able to take it anywhere with relatively few technical concessions is truly a testament to not only its developers, but the Switch itself. This may not be the definitive version of Doom, but it is, without a doubt, the most versatile. It's also much better than the Super Nintendo version. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, and consider subscribing to Nintendo World Report TV. You can also check out NintendoWorldReport.com for a whole lot more content. If you want to support this channel and the site, you can check us out at patreon.com/NWR.